I just completed the Astroneer DLC without the ability to craft any power items and with the hazards set to the max in all storm biomes. Now it's time to take over the villain's lair and build my own base on top of it. But that will need a lot of work. So here's what I've already gathered. I've got some materials, I'm gonna need most of them to build an auto extractor, some auto arms as well, printers, I've got all the printers, platforms, obviously, and then I've got a large printer, a smelting furnace and a soil centrifuge. This should be enough to get started. Then we're gonna come back here to get even more resources and build it into a fully functional base down there. Obviously we'll need a lot more power items, so for those I'm gonna have to go out probably in the bullion fields and search for some more power items since I cannot craft any. But right now let's dig a tunnel straight into the core, and I think I want to do it right behind this base in the Redstorm Mountains. My main base should be that way, so we're just gonna go the exact opposite way into the core base, and then we'll have 3 bases on this planet, and at some point I'm gonna want to connect all of them with a train trail, but that's gonna be further down the line. Now it's gonna be a pretty long way down. We're gonna have to cross the crystal caves and then the glowing forest caves. These are pretty big biomes, so I might need a lot more soil than I've got right now. So just a quick update, I'm back in the base. I did not have enough soil. Obviously I'm gonna need a lot more trips to get all the way down there, so that's why I'm gonna build a soil canister. For that I'm gonna need some plastic, and I'll start crafting the plastic here, and then I don't know what else I need. Let me check really quick. Yeah, so it's plastic and glass for a medium soil canister. I might even want to get 2 of them, but then I'll have to leave behind some platforms. That's alright, I'll come back for them anyway. Just a quick change of strategy, nothing too big, but having these is gonna make everything much easier. So I'll get back to work and I'll see you in the core.
A few moments later.
I finally got down here. It took quite a while, and the hardest part was the core biome here, because gravity doesn't really work like you would expect it to, so the angle of this thing is not what you want it to be. It's easier if you go on these, but there was no way I could make the rover easily get on here when the gravity changes. So the only way I could have done this is from the top of these spires, but now it's too late for that, so I just made this thing right here, and I can somehow drive the rover on the surface of the core. It's pretty hard, but it's doable. So now that we are down here, we can get started with some of the basic platforms. In the middle here, this is the villain's lair, so let's get inside. Gravity changes again, and I'm actually on the ceiling. So this is the villain's lair, this is where the DLC ended, and now it's my turn to take over his base, so that's why I'm building this on top. So we'll start with the first couple of platforms, and I think I only have 2 of them. Yeah, so I'll make another run for more. One is gonna be for all the printers. So I've got a medium printer here, and I've got a small one. I don't know, I might want 2 different platforms for the printers. One is gonna be for the medium and the small, and the other one for the large. I think that's a little bit better. So I'll have these side by side. They kind of want to glitch through the thing, but I'll try to be careful here. The large one and then the small and medium. I'm gonna need a lot of storage for all of these, but that's gonna be easy to get. And I've already got 1 lithium. It just fell from somewhere. I can already set this on auto extractor, and I've got everything I need. I just don't have power right now. I also have a beacon that I'm gonna leave here, and I'll set this to be purple. That's the color of the core. And then we'll have the smelter and the soil centrifuge. I won't unpack these just yet. I've got some more auto arms here, and maybe I can also leave behind some of these power things. I mean, I don't know if I can get solar power, but we're about to find out. And yeah, I'm not gonna get any solar power. That's gonna be useless. But we do have the battery. I don't think that's gonna be enough, but anyway, let's get started on this auto extractor. The auto extractor I'm gonna set up on an Astroneer node up here, but they are pretty scarce. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about. How am I supposed to drive this? Now I'm just going up, and I can't really control this. The road goes that way, but I'm going this way for whatever reason. So yeah, once we have a train going down here, it's gonna be much easier because the rail doesn't move. And we already have the road where the rail is gonna be on, so that shouldn't really take that long to complete. We are doing trick shots now, and I'm trying not to fall off the road, because then I'm gonna have to take all of this journey from the beginning down at the core, and I really don't want to do that. In the meantime, I already found an Astroneer node that looks pretty promising. It's also close to one of these spires, so that's gonna be good. And I fell off. That's just great. I'm just spiraling down. So I think I want to pick one of these, like that one, and I'll drive up it, and then I'll connect the roads in the glowing forest biome. I think that is the way to go, because driving the rover on that road over and over again is not an option. if you tried doing this, you know the pain I'm in right now. Another quick update, this is unbearable to do with the rover. It took me about 10 minutes to get out of there. So I'm gonna build the rail line right now. I can already unlock the rail engine and the rail car, and that's gonna be resin and aluminum and a little bit of copper. So I've got everything I need there, and then let's see what we need for the rails. I can unlock all of this and it's gonna be resin and aluminum, alright. But that's gonna make it a lot easier to just haul everything down there. I'm obviously still gonna keep the road because the rails are gonna be on it, and we can still use it with some vehicles, maybe with a buggy or something, because the rover is hard to get into the core, but it's almost impossible to get it out of the core. So now let's get on that rail engine, because the rail engine makes it a lot faster and there's a long way to go, so that's gonna be very important. And then I'm gonna need a lot of rail post bundles. Being able to craft no power items really changes the way you play the game. It's definitely a lot harder, but also everything takes way more time, so you're more deliberate with what you're doing. I usually just run around doing whatever I need to do next, but when you can't get power items and you don't have power, you really have to think ahead and know what you want to do next and group things together. So if I want to go to a different biome, that's gonna be a big thing to go there, and I'd better get everything I need before I come back. So let's start smelting all of these. My battery is also getting refilled while I'm here, and then I'll go back to mine some more. It just needs to be connected to the base, and this will carry both power and oxygen. So then I can just go do my business all the way down there, and I'm still gonna have oxygen and power all the time. And then I'll put the rail engine and the rail car onto the rail, because I will be able to call them, so you can just press and call the car, and they will come with all of the resources that I need. So that's why I'm gonna get this filled up, and then I'll go all the way into the core, and we'll see how long it takes. So I reached the core, and this time I'm going on one of these spires. The road goes right next to it, so I brought these on the road all the way, and then at the last stretch here I got onto one of these, and I'll call it right at this one. Here it is. So we've got a couple more rail posts. I'll put this one here as well. And now it's going to be much easier to bring all the resources. I'm also going to need some power items. So I'm going to go to the bullion fields to get some more of those. Let's go ahead and go all the way to the top. And you can see how the rail just follows the roads that I made with the large rover. That's why it was pretty easy to build. I think it took me less than 10 minutes, which is the time it took me to get the rover out of the core just once. But if you take a look here, you can see just how big these biomes are and how long the road had to be. I had to stop in between each of the layers of the planet to gather more soil and fill up the 2 medium soil canisters I had, because there was no other way to go through all of this. Aeoluz is really much bigger than it seems. If you are just on the surface, it doesn't look like such a big planet, but when you start digging, you realize just how big it is. And look at the crystal caves as well. These are massive. They are orders of magnitude bigger than anything you can see in the base game. So if you don't have the DLC, I suggest you get it. This is not an advertisement or anything. I just really enjoy it. This is my second time playing through it, and I'm definitely gonna do it a third time as well. But I finally got back up. Let's turn this thing back on. We've got enough power now. So we're gonna get some more aluminum from there. I wanna get more cars in here. So there it is, resin and aluminum. I'll throw this on repeat. I just need some more resin, so I'll go ahead and use the soil centrifuge for that. I can also mine more aluminum on that side whenever I want to. Oh, and we've got resin as well. That's great. But yeah, for the power items, I'm gonna take the rover out. I'm gonna throw some storage on it as well. And I probably don't need 2 of these. 1 should be enough. Okay, so this might just be my greatest find yet. I found an entire medium battery here. I usually just find the small ones, and I found some medium wind turbines, but that's about it. So to have one of those batteries is pretty cool, and I also got some gases here and a diamond. These are all great resources, so I really struck a jackpot here, and this is the first thing that I stopped at, so that's even more impressive. But now let's keep looking, because there's a lot more things to be found in here. I started off pretty lucky, and I want to stay that way. Oh, and we've got some solar panels. I'm not going to be able to use these in the core, but I will place these on the base on top, and then I can steal all the other power items from that base. Some people ask me, why don't I use the tappers and generators? That's because I cannot find any generators here. I don't know what it is, but they don't spawn, and I can't craft them because that's the challenge. I do not have the recipes. So even if I wanted to do that, I couldn't. But oh, look at this. We've got a dynamite. That might come in handy. And there's just a lot of things here. You really have to look carefully, and you're gonna find whatever you're looking for. Oh, I didn't see that. I guess I wasn't looking for it. But we've got a couple small wind turbines and a big one too. These are items that we can actually use down in the core base. Now let's get into this thing and see what we've got here. I see a scrap. dynamite. Most of the items I find are broken, like all of these, but from time to time you do find some that are functioning, which is always great. But actually that reminds me, in the next video I want to connect all of the 3 bases and build a dedicated power hub where I'm gonna gather all the items that I can from all of the bases, plus I'm gonna scavenge for a lot of extra items from the wild. If you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. It helps me a lot, so thanks for doing that. And now let's get back to it. We still need to scavenge some more items, and I've got some nice metals here. I think I'm gonna keep those. So I'm heading down to the core base to set all of these up, and then we should have a fully functional base there. And from that point we can start gathering some copper for the lights, because it's pretty dark down there and I want it to look really good, so we're gonna need some lights. The rail is working extremely well. It takes less than 2 minutes to get all the way from the top to the core of the planet, and I can't wait to get into setting all of this up. And here we are, we reached the base. So I'll start by getting some power items on here, because the auto extractor needs to be crafted and that's gonna take a while anyway. We've got wind going on, so that's great. I'll just have this in the back probably, so that's gonna be connected, and this works now. Then we'll have another one on a different platform. Actually, I don't have to put this in the back. I can extend and take up more of the core. But for right now, I'll just leave them here. Oh, and this is floating away. I need to be careful with that. So we're gonna have even more power on this side. We also need some storage, so I'm gonna take care of that in just a bit. Well, now the wind has stopped, but luckily we have the battery. Oh, and this is going away. Let me just lock it down. All of these should be locked down. Otherwise, they'll just float away for whatever reason. So we're gonna have these right here. One is gonna be for the trade platform and the other is gonna be for the chemistry lab. Okay, now let's get some storage on this. And this is gonna be all the way on this side. Oh, and then we also have the soil centrifuge and the smelting furnace. So actually I might not have enough platforms, but that's not an issue. It's gonna be really quick to just get some more of them. We've got the trade platform, which should be at the end of this, basically on the other side of the core. This is so small, we're eventually gonna end up getting on the other side. Now let's get the last of these power items, and we still have more place on here. There we go. We're gonna have extra storage on here just for some other random items, like I've got an exo chip for example and some auto arms, which I can now take from here to have more room. And the battery, I'll move it over on this side. So right now I'll just unpack a lot of medium storages everywhere, and that's gonna allow me to store basically everything I want. The auto extractor is also done, so I hope it doesn't float away, and we can start getting one large storage. I've got a ceramic for that, and I still have some more medium storages, but I think I'm just gonna leave them here for now. I also need some small platforms to place the auto arms on, and also some medium canisters for all the astronium that I'm gonna use at the trade platform. And let's not forget about the lights, those are very important. So I'll do some more of these off camera and then I'll show you the results.
One eternity later.
So I'm just getting some more platforms out here. I've got 4 so far, and we need some more medium storages as well, because I'm about to take the rover and go out to find some copper. And then I'm not sure what we want to place the lights on, so we could get the tall platform that's just ceramic. I think this is gonna be pretty good, so I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna start crafting some more clay. I have 2 ceramic already, so I can get started on these tall platforms. And let's see, maybe we get 8 platforms, which means 32 lights. Something like that. And I'm so glad I decided to get a train right now, because this would have taken ages with the rover. That was not a great idea to try that. But we've got the clay, we're gonna get it smelted, and I can go ahead and search for some malachite. I'm not really sure where to start, but I think I might have seen some in the Blue Storm Mountains. So that's where I'm headed right now. I just need to make my way up, so I'm gonna build a nice road on the side here that's gonna make it easy for me to see around and also get back to the base. I don't really want to step out of the rover because there's a lot of hazards here. I cranked them all the way to the maximum. I did see some aluminum right at the entrance to the biome. I could also get the floodlights. Those are a bit brighter, so I don't really like them. I like the work lights a lot better, but the floodlights use tungsten, so in case I find some tungsten first, then we're gonna get some of that as well. And if that happens, we're just gonna have to improvise and use both work lights and floodlights. But I really want some lights there, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get them. So the Blue Storm Mountains don't seem to have the resources that I need, so I'll probably go around and search in the canyons. All I can see here is compound and resin. Even if I needed them, I could just get them from the soil centrifuge. So yeah, there's really no resources in this biome, except for some ammonium. I guess that's pretty good. I got some while going through it with the rover. We've got a lot of clay here. That's nice, and that's wolframite. I'm gonna gather some wolframite as well. I can use that for floodlights, I think. I'm pretty sure. So I'll start gathering this. So I got about 10 of these. So I'll have one canister for malachite, hopefully, and one is gonna be for wolframite. But I think I'll stay around and gather all of this node. Maybe I can even fill up the whole resource canister. Oh, look at what I found. This is one of those big solar panels that you can hook up to your base. So if I had a winch, I could drag this all the way back to the Redstorm Mountains. That's gonna be a pretty long journey with this thing in the back. I don't have a beacon. Oh, there's quartz over there. Okay, so I'm gonna set a beacon right next to this thing because I might want to get it. And in the next video, I might put it in the power section. That's gonna be common for all the bases. But now I can use this to just craft a beacon. Let's just give it a nice distinctive color. So I guess yellow for power. And I'm gonna be back here to build the whole thing around this extremely large solar panel. I finally found some malachite in the Green Storm Mountains, so I knew you could find it near some storm. I just didn't have the right one, but now I got it. So let's get in here and we'll fill this whole thing up. I hope there's enough malachite. I also have one filled with wolframite, so we're gonna be able to get floodlights as well. We can gather a lot of copper here for a lot of work lights. And I'm gonna need a little bit more, which I'm gonna do off camera, and then we'll craft everything in the core base so we can get that one started as well. I just need some more power and oxygen. Yeah, this no power thing gets pretty frustrating sometimes. I'll just keep digging all of this and I'll probably start looking for another node of malachite. This doesn't look like it's gonna be enough. So here we are. I've got all the resources that we need, so we should get started with some more of these platforms, and these are mainly gonna be for the soil centrifuge, the smelting furnace, and the rest are gonna be for storage. The only thing I don't have here is an atmospheric condenser and a research chamber, because I don't really think I need those, to be honest, but we'll see how everything goes. So let's start getting these out here. So this is gonna be the smelter. We need that right next to the trade platform, in case we're ever gonna use scrap on it, I mean. And then this next one's gonna be the soil centrifuge. And this wraps around completely to the other side where the train comes in. I don't think I want to link these as well, but I could. So let's go ahead and unpack the modules that we're gonna need. And this I'm gonna have set on Astronium. But before I set up the auto extractor, I just wanna make sure I've got all the lights on here. And then I'll need some medium storages for the printer platforms here. There it goes. I really hope we've got enough power for now. We're definitely gonna upgrade that with that big solar panel that we found and a lot more power items. But for right now, I'll just work with what I have. There we go, the smelting furnace, the soil centrifuge, and then I've got some more medium storages. We can have some more platforms going down the middle here. That's gonna create a nice shape, because this right here, in between them, because the trains right here is dead space. So basically we won't need to go that way. We're mostly gonna be in here working on the base, so then it makes sense to have a thing following here with more storage or any sort of other items that we might need. And I've got a lot more platforms, so I hope this is gonna be enough. I don't know why they keep like floating a bit, so I just need to be careful with these. They also kind of want to glitch through the core. You can see them from time to time just sort of glitching. Okay, and this should be the final one. We got all the way to the other side of the core, and you can see it doesn't really want to stay. It doesn't know where to go because gravity is different on this thing. There's another gravity right here. In here there's another direction for it, so the platforms are kind of confused. And I guess I can get started on the tall platforms. In the end, we've got enough copper, but we're still gonna add some floodlights as well. So I can turn this on, and this should make the work lights. I just hope they don't fly away, so I'll put this here, and I'm hoping it will craft them on it. But we're gonna need a lot of those, and in the meantime, I can already unpack the platform and set them up. And then here's gonna be all the wolframite that we're gonna use. But what I want right now is the tall platforms. I'm guessing since the base is right here, I could have some lights on this other side. I don't think it makes any sense to have them right behind it. So I wanna have one in the middle here, and I just need to see how far apart I want them since I have 8. Oh, but this is in the way here. I guess I can just bring it a little bit closer. Yeah, I guess that's all right. So we're gonna have that there. I'm gonna use extenders to connect everything. We're gonna have another one right here, and then I can just have a platform in the middle right here. And this is gonna be the one that's connected to power, and then we're gonna connect this one to all the others. So then I can use the last two. I can have them on here behind all of these. And I don't know if I want these layered platforms like the power section there when I could have it over on this side. So I might want to actually move all of these and have them in the middle here. I think that just looks a lot better. Now I have only one of these platforms left. Somebody please watch that back. Didn't I have two in the backpack? Did I unpack one randomly? Oh, it's down here. Okay, weird things are happening in the core. I guess this is the most glitched area of the game. And I really hope this is gonna be enough power for the auto extractors as well as some auto arms. Okay, so it's melted everything. That's great. I just need to move them. We've got a lot of them on top of each other here. They're kind of glitched through. So still, I've got two more platforms. So these ones are gonna go in the back here. And I'm guessing we need them in the main area, which is gonna be the smelter and the printers. So one here and one on this side. And I think that looks pretty good with just two of them up here and the rest on the bottom. So now let's get the extenders, which should be on the train somewhere. And I also brought some ammonium and titanite because why not? I'm not actually sure why I brought them, but they were on the train, so I guess we've got them here now. We're gonna need an extender right here and then in there. If we were on soil, I would be able to hide this by digging down and placing it underneath, but since it's the core, we are gonna see the extenders. It is what it is, but let's start doing this as well. And now I'm wondering, do I have enough extenders? I hope I do. And now this is glitching through the ground. Yeah, a lot of glitching happening in the core. So now this is an interesting predicament. This only has 3 slots. They need this connected, this, and the other one. So I guess we're just gonna go from here. I might kind of be out of extenders. I've got 5 more only. So let's try to make the most of them. And I might not have enough. I have 2 more, and yeah, so I'm gonna need some copper, and I think I used all of it. Yeah, I did. I used all of it on the work lights. So I guess it's gonna be a quick trip up, and I'm gonna get everything that we need. Now let's also get this smelted, but I don't want to turn all of it into floodlights. I actually want to have these, and I'm gonna use this other medium canister to store it. And then this one will be empty so that we can use it for Astronium. I'm back and I got a lot more extenders, so this should work now. I just need them to not glitch through all the time, but whatever. And that's it, everything is connected now. So I'll start with the work lights. This is extremely bright, by the way. And we're gonna have 4 of them on each of these platforms, just like that. And then the floodlights will be on top there on the 2 spots. By the way, stay tuned because we're about to mine some Astronium that we're gonna use at the trade platform. And make sure to like this video if you enjoy it. It helps me out a lot, so thanks for doing that. Now let's get back to finishing this base. And here we go, these are gonna be the last 2 platforms. These in the back, and these are basically to light up our main work areas. So that should be it. All the work lights are set. There's 32 of them around the base right now. The small printer will be right here, and actually let's just drop the tungsten off and we're gonna craft floodlights. Do I have those unlocked though? Floodlight, okay, so this is the one. I'm gonna unlock it, and then I should be able to find it in the small printer as well. There it is, the floodlight. So we're gonna have 16 of these. Oh, is it done? We already have all of our lights. I'll just throw these in the back here, and let's start placing some of these as well. So we're gonna have them facing up. And here we go, this is the last platform, and we've got all of the lights in the base. I think this looks pretty great. So then let's get started on the Astronium. So we should have the auto extractor around here. There we go. And we've got an extra light here. I think I crafted 33. So I'm just gonna have it, I guess, there for now. I'm gonna take all of the platforms with me, and then I'm gonna take this thing as well. So I'm gonna take the auto extractor first, or actually let's go by train. I think this is gonna be much easier. That's the Astronium right there. That's where I want to put the auto extractor. This one I think is gonna be better, but we can test it with the auto extractor. First I want to build a road there. Let's just see first. Yeah, this is not a lot of Astronium, but I don't think it's gonna get much better in this biome, and there isn't any Astronium in any other biome on Aeoluz, so we're gonna have to deal with this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's as good as it's gonna get. So this will work pretty slow, but we won't need a lot of Astronium straight away, so we have time for it to work. So let's get an auto arm right here, and this will grab it. We could bring it a little bit this way. We're gonna have an auto arm on this. This also kind of allows me to use these platforms as a sort of extender, but I'm running out of oxygen here. And everything is going to be connected to the rail here, so it's going to get all the power that it needs. I also need to get the large platform up there. That's where all the Astronium is going to be stored. Why can't I just... I want to run on this. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Nope, I can't. How do I get on that road? I guess I just need to call the train. There's really no other way to do that. Sometimes it works, but when it doesn't want to, it just won't. And now, where's my platform? Did I lose it? Then there's gonna be one more right here. And I think that's enough. We don't need anything extra. And this should go straight into this platform. And this is then gonna be connected to power. So we're gonna have the medium resource canisters on there. And then we're gonna need some extenders. So I'll just run back really quick to get all of that. And then we'll see if we got enough power for the auto extractor as well. There it goes. And then we're just gonna connect everything with a couple extenders. And then I guess one will be reversed on the ceiling. That makes sense. That's going to be connected down there. Okay, so this looks promising. We've got power. I'm falling. I'm falling. It's pretty frustrating trying to build something in this biome. Now I'm walking on air. Everything makes sense here. Start up all of the auto arms, and then we can turn on the auto extractor, and we'll see how this goes. So there's our first Astronium. Let's see if everything goes according to plan. Yeah, we don't have enough power. How much does this use? 8 units. That's not a lot. And we are storing this right there. Okay, so we've got our first Astronium. I'm gonna want to collect some more, and then I'll use them to trade for exochips, hydrazine, and I also want some portable smelting furnaces. I want to get a bunch of them instead of the smelting furnace that I have right now, but we're definitely gonna need some more power in here. Now, in the next video, I'm gonna connect all of the bases together and build the large power station. That's gonna be in the Cyber Canyons with that extremely large solar panel. So make sure to subscribe if you don't wanna miss that, and watch this video next. I've been Games for Life, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, Astroneers!